Welcome back, our club member of this channel of wealth protection and money matters. Today we want to answer a question that was asked in one of our Kiswahili channel of ulinzi wa mali na mambo ya kifedha. In fact, there are 4 questions that one of the viewer of that channel asked, and we want to answer them one by one. And we are going to start with the one he preferred most, and it was about when you give somebody a free ride in your vehicle, and especially those private vehicle, commercial vehicle, or anything that does not any vehicle that does not do public services. So in case maybe you give somebody a free ride in your vehicle and something happens like an accident, or maybe it's self-involving and that person or those people get injured or die, or maybe another vehicle knocks you or hit you, and maybe the fault of the person who was at wrong is the other vehicle, and it happens that the people whom you gave a free ride in your vehicle suffered some injuries and maybe they die. You remember from our class of benefits of third party only, we mentioned that anybody who does not have a relationship between the contract of the insured and the insurer, those are third party. So in that case, these passengers on your vehicle whom you gave a free ride, they are supposed to be compensated with you, and in a situation where maybe you don't have an insurance cover, it will force you to pay from your pocket, because the interest or the third party interests are covered. You remember there's a law we mentioned there's a law of Third Party Act Cap 4/5 that we say that it covers all the interests of all road users in case they get injured or they die as a result of accident from either negligence of the person who was driving or not. So if you happen to give somebody a free ride in your vehicle, you know that there's also another risk that you are carrying there. So in case of anything, you'll be required to compensate them or pay them. So we are saying that in this scenario, we are not saying that you should not help people. You should not help people to carry them. But it's also good to be aware. The major aim of our channel is to give people information so that people have some information and know if the way they can handle any situation that can happen in their financial life. So that is why we are stressing here that you need to have this knowledge that in any case you injure somebody or somebody get injured in your vehicle as a passenger, and maybe you're just offering them free ride, you are liable and you're supposed to compensate them. And that is why you need an insurance cover. If you buy a comprehensive insurance or buy a third-party insurance, those liabilities are catered for. And that is why mostly when you look at the sticker that you are normally given to stick the certificate of insurance of your vehicle, it is written there you are not supposed to admit liability. So those liability, you are supposed to transfer them to the underwriter so that the underwriter can pay on behalf of you. But in a situation where you don't have an insurance and you are liable, it means your wealth will be sold or you will pay from your pocket, and those people must be compensated. You also know that in our jurisdiction, maybe in Kenya, there are people who normally chase ambulances when an accident occurred. They are called ambulance chasers. They run after those people and advise them that there's some compensation they can get. So those people help them and take those cases to their advocate, and the advocates usually fight for them to be compensated. So don't find yourself in a place where the court will award somebody whom you gave a free lift and you don't have an insurance cover to pay on your behalf. If I give you a case study scenario in this class, there's a client of mine who got an accident, and it happened like this. They went for a funeral service somewhere, and he took some of their relative. He had a vehicle called Wish, and that Wish, the capacity of that vehicle is 6 passengers, including the driver is 7. So after burial, when they were coming back, that vehicle in bad luck got an accident, and it was a self-involving. In good luck, nobody died, but some got fractures, some got some slight injury. But within some few days or weeks, he called me and told me that yes, someone is supposed to go to court for proceeding. The someone said that he got an accident and is supposed to appear in court and defend himself. So I told him just bring the documents, because he had already filled a claim form, and what he was supposed to do was just to pay an excess fee. You also remember we talked about excess fee in comprehensive our comprehensive class and our third party class. In any motor claim in insurance company, when you launch a claim, you're supposed to pay an excess fee. So he paid an excess fee, and then the company appointed an advocate to represent him on that case. So those people were compensated 2 million and something on top, and he was relieved from those liability. And remember, these people were just given a free ride to that burial ceremony, and they were just people known to him. But here is a case now. These people were suing this client of mine for having injured them in his vehicle. So you find that you can be offering some aid in a situation, or maybe somebody asks you to help them, but if something happens, know that you'll be liable, and that liability can be big that maybe you cannot manage to pay. So you need to have this information. Make sure always you have an insurance cover, and when you are giving people a ride, you should also be aware that if something happens, you know how to go about it. So just to remind you something that we also talked about in the comprehensive and third party classes, that you remember the owner of the vehicle, the driver, the immediate family members, and the workers of the vehicle, especially the maid and the samba boy. They are not covered in the private vehicle and commercial vehicle. They are not covered completely. So if you need to get them a cover, you need to get them a personal accident cover, and sometime you may be asked to pay an additional premium, and the minimum can be 2,000 per annum, 3,000 per annum, 4,000 per annum, even 15,000 per annum, depending now with the limit you are going to choose for sum assured and your ability to pay those premium. You also need to note that, so that maybe in future you don't start wondering why should your wife not claim on your vehicle, or maybe your child, or maybe your maid. They are not covered because they are like you. They have an interest. They have some interest with you in that vehicle, so they are not covered. Something again I also wanted to highlight here is that if you look at the claim that was paid for that client of mine on that liability case, you remember the court awarded those people who got injured 2.something million, and this client only paid a premium of 7,500 during that time. But nowadays, third party you can get at 12,100. Some companies still charge 7,000. So if you look at the premium that this client of mine paid and the amount of liability or amount of claim that was paid, if you look at it, you'll just conclude that insurance people are here to help business people to grow, to help them reduce the losses that they may get in the daily activities of doing business or working. Because assuming this client of mine had not have an insurance cover, you see, he could have paid something of 2 million and something, or maybe that vehicle, maybe if it was sold, it could just fetch 800. So maybe some wealth could have been sold, you see. So what we are trying to say is that insurance company, they are playing a bigger major role in economical development, so that those people are out to do business. If they buy a promise from an underwriter, if an insurance company honors these promises, it means there's promise of their growth in business. There'll be no interference in their financial situation. I think those people who always think that insurance company are just here to collect people's money and disappear, or sometimes you can hear people referring insurance as con is just a con business activity. I think that notion should now start fading, because we are here to paint this business as a good thing. We are trying to make this penetration of knowledge of insurance or wealth protection to run deep into everybody who is down there, so that if you are an investor, you should not just invest blindly. You should know that you can also buy some protection of your wealth, buy protection of your business from an underwriter. So always keep it here so that we can learn and have information that can make us grow in business. Keep it here. We'll always be answering the 3 remaining questions. So just keep it here. If you've not been a member of this channel, subscribe so that we continue building this school of wealth protection and money matters. Thank you, and see you in the next video.